Hey everyone, it's Ivan with kitbatch.com, out here with, we'll call this part 1 of 2, talking about some pretty neat products by Nikwax. I have here 2 different products, this one being their Downwash Direct and this being their Downproof. So these were actually recommended to me from one of my buddies, Matt from Jerking the Trigger. Awesome site, all kinds of great information on all kinds of stuff. I remember I was actually reading his site back when I was contracting, like, I don't know, 2014, 2015. Been doing this for a long time. And he's like, hey, have you tried any of this stuff? And I was like, I have not. He said, you might want to try it. Cool, let's try it. And so idea being, one, down things are generally pretty expensive, not cheap. And with that, there's kind of a lifespan to them, and depending on how you treat them, they eventually just kind of die. So with this, you can essentially rehab down, as I understand it, to include waterproof it, which is a pretty big deal. And so what am I going to use this stuff on, and what am I hoping that is going to happen? Probably one of the single coolest and most useful gifts I ever got from my parents for Christmas. Not to be confused with a Nintendo Entertainment System. I actually got it from my grandma. It was pretty amazing when I got it. But a sleeping bag. And so I grew up backpacking and camping, stuff like that. And with that, I actually grew up with surplus down, like military down mummy bags. Terrible. Pretty much on every front. Basically, you're laying in a canvas sack inside another canvas sack, and inside that said 2 sacks is a bunch of down feathers, usually all clumped up, probably surplus from like Korean War. Not very good. So one Christmas I actually got this right here. This is by Mountain Hardware. Does it even have the I guess it does not have dry cleaning care pass. But yeah, shell lining, both nylon. It's a down bag. And this is honestly one of the coolest sleeping bags I've ever owned. I've had it since I was probably 16, so we'll say 30 years at this point. And maybe I got it when I was 17. Pretty sure I was probably 16. Thing's amazing. And it has, yes, crazy legs, trademarked, expandable knee. One of the coolest bags ever. I'm pretty sure is actually a patent infringement. And so they made it for, I'm pretty sure, 1 season. I could be totally wrong. Someone will probably correct me if I am in the comments. But as I understand it, they made this for like 1 season. Probably got a cease and desist, something like that. Stop making them. And the way they made it is there's elastic and stuff through here. So now, even if there is a patent, other companies have kind of figured it out. But this was incredible back in the day, in the 90s. And you can move your knees, like you can pull them up and you're not just stuck in this like mummy bag. Incredible. But now, these days, down is kind of like, it's kind of clumped up. And again, I've been using this thing for like 30 years now. It's pretty tired. And no, I've never treated it, never did anything like that. And since then I've got, well, actually my boys got them Christmas presents from my mom, their grandma. They actually got sleeping bags, the Spike Lake from Big Agnes. Great bags, we continue to use them, and sometimes I'll just take them on solo trips and be like, hey boys, I'm gonna take one of your guys' sleeping bags and take it out, because it stays way warmer than this. I don't remember what this is actually rated to, but again, 30 years of use, compressed, decompressed, all that stuff, and yeah, like it takes a toll. And on top of that, their Spike Lake bags are treated, I want to say, with down tech, meaning even if the down gets wet, you can actually still stay warm. Versus you pull this thing and you notice it actually coming out of like a washing machine, which dry clean only, nah, I'll just throw stuff in the washing machine. Sorry. But when you pull it out of the washing machine, This will be basically like the size of like a football, whereas those with down tech will still look like a sleeping bag. So with that, you can basically go into a sleeping bag, treat it with down sleeping bag, treat it with down tech, and still stay warm even if it's wet. Shooting moons out, goons out. Finished shooting one evening, I think it was like 3 a.m. Get to my tent, unzip it, there's water dripping on said bag, Spike Lake, Big Agnes bag. Oh well, dead tired. Pulled my boots off, climbed in with all my clothes, slept through the night, stayed warm. That will not happen if down is not treated, or largely with synthetic bag. You're probably pretty hosed too, depending on the bag. But kept me warm. So, one, there's the wash, which will largely, I'm hoping, rehab the just down inside here. And then the second one is a treatment that waterproofs it. So I'm hoping to come away with basically a reinvigorated 30-year-old sleeping bag that has seen a lot of miles. Both the cleaning as well as the down treatment are both applied in a washing machine, whether it's a front loading or like industrial kind of standard top loading, or you can even hand wash it. There's instructions and stuff on here, but I'm pretty excited because if this does what I hope it does, it'll basically invigorate this, and honestly it'll probably last me the rest of my life. Like, already got 30 years out of it. Hopefully it can double that. And no, I'm excited, not to mention actually treating it, because I love down bags. I also, as you saw, carry it in a waterproof compression sack, which I still will, just because, especially untreated down, if that gets wet, it's useless. So being able to actually treat it and make it hydrophobic, hydroscopic, whichever one it is, to where it isn't going to just clump up and turn into a football of down feathers at the very base of the sleeping bag, that'll be incredible. Like, that'll make it better than this was when I originally bought it, which is pretty cool. And if this stuff works out well, then it opens the door to just rehabbing other things, whether it's down jackets that previously were not treated, think older ones, because honestly, usually down stuff is an investment, and this can hopefully extend the life as well as make it better than it was when you bought it with the waterproofing treatment. Pretty excited. Not to mention just opening the door to go finding secondhand stuff that someone put a bunch of miles on and maybe didn't treat super well, but if you can rehab it and make it better, cool. Get it at a good price. But when I put in time with this, go through the process, do all that stuff, I will let you know how it goes and yeah, report back. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.